What if aging wasn't about decline, but about becoming more apologetically ourselves? And the second half of life was less about playing it safe and more about saying yes. Yes to joy, to adventure, to intimacy, and to living on your own terms. Today, I'm joined by Jean Ketcham, who at 85 is just getting started. She is the fearless force behind Aging But Dangerous, a movement that has inspired hundreds of thousands of women to live boldly, break rules, and embrace every season of life. She has built a 200,000 strong Facebook community, written a book, filled calendars, taken to stages, and shown women everywhere what it looks like to live empowered, adventurous, and unstoppable. From skydiving with hundreds of women to organizing colonoscopy parties and martini chats, to curating calendars to celebrate the beauty of aging bodies, she is redefining what it means to grow older. We talk about Jean's story, how she started Aging But Dangerous, and the legacy that she hopes to leave. We talk about fun and style and why women need to push the envelope at every age. We hear her candid take on confidence, caregiving, and why laughter and a little lipstick can be a survival strategy. And we go there in the most human, health first way. Jean and I talk all about intimate wellness as we age, while vibrators can support pelvic floor health, blood flow, and endorphins. And we're giving y'all the permission to have these conversations out loud, and why bringing this into the light with partners, friends, and communities is a part of living fully. Here is my episode with Jean Ketcham. There are moments in your life where you meet someone and you look at them and you're like, you're going to be in my life and you're so special. And Jean, you are that for me. And today, oh, we get time.
I feel the same way, Nicole. It's just that instant feeling. And of course, as you know, I mean, I believe in past lives, so I know we've
Yeah,
been together, kiddo. We
we
have
sure
certainly
have.
been together because
Oh,
when that happens, you know that it's something more is there.
I agree. I agree. And what's so cool is that I love how life works because we've had these moments where we've been in the same rooms and spaces and have had some time together. And then I remember looking at you from afar, being like, oh, that embodies the energy of how I want to grow older and what that looks like. I think a lot of times, and we'll get into this for sure, but we feel that we can't really be bold or fashionable or sexy and all of that. And I just love how you not only embody that, but then encourage the people around you to do that, which is a lot of what we're going to be talking about. But we saw each other at Sarah Edwards, who we both just really care about at her, I think it was her mom's birthday, and we got some more time together. And you were wearing,
Yes.
I think, rhinestone sparkle boots.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I liked it. I liked to like push that envelope a little bit.
So good. Oh, it gives me hope and it makes me just so happy. And then we took like the cutest picture together. And then we met for coffee and talked for hours. And yeah, I think there we were saying like, oh my gosh, we're just, yeah, just so special to have you in my life and wanting to now have you share with the world who you are and how you encourage us to live boldly and have adventure and not lose our passion in a lot of different parts of our life. So I'm just so happy. Yeah, so happy you're here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I
Mhm.
love these kind of conversations. They're so spontaneous and real.
I agree. I agree. So I love to hear, like, if someone were to meet you for the first time and asked, okay, what lights you up in your life and in your work, what would you say?
What really lights me up is I have a couple 100,000 followers, and they send me messages all the time. And they keep using that word inspiration, and I don't really think of myself that way, but they do. I just woke up the other morning, Nicole, that this woman, she said, Jean, you helped me through the darkest part of my life and you don't even know it. She said
Mm,
your inspiration and your positiveness and all that just really pulled me through. And I want to write you a note and send you a little gift. And
mm,
I woke up to that message and I thought, how lucky am I to hear these things?
yeah.
Because we all do things that inspire people and we don't know that we do it. And
Mhm.
the older you get, the more you realize that is that somebody will say, "Oh my gosh, 10 years ago you said this to me and I always remember it." And so that happens to all of us. I'm just fortunate enough to hear it. Being able to, someone even said to me not even that long ago, she said, "Gene, you got me through COVID. I just because I was on every day during COVID because I was so
Mhm.
bored." And I'm like, gosh, I wonder what I said. A lot of times I think, what did I say? I have no idea what I said. But anyway, that's what really means a lot to me
Yeah,
when I hear
yeah.
those things.
And isn't that such a great reflection of how when we have people in our life where we think something that we admire or that like helps us to tell the person, right? And to say it out loud and not just keep it in. I feel like
Exactly.
so good.
Exactly. And I love it because for some reason when
Hmm.
I compliment somebody or me telling you I'm looking at you, you have on this beautiful pink and oh my gosh, your skin just radiates with that pink because I really believe in that whole color thing. But
Yeah.
anyway, when I give somebody a compliment, they really know that I mean it. It's not false or it's not too, flowery or anything. And so I just give a compliment and then I just go on. I don't dwell on it. So, and that people just they love that. They
Mhm.
love it because it just makes them feel good.
Yeah.
And it can be anything.
Yeah. You
It's
can see
just,
them light up.
yeah. So I really like that. And I don't know why that happens, but it
Mhm.
does. And because I love giving compliments.
Me too. Me too. That's why we find each other.
I know. I
But
know.
you have created a movement. It really is a movement and a community, along with the book, Aging But Dangerous, right? It's the mindset of it, but also the mission of that. Can you share with us, is there a moment where for you, you realized that aging could and really should look differently?
Well, I'll tell you when I started realizing it, Nicole, I really had not, I don't remember thinking about aging, when I was younger, but I started realizing it at 50.
Yeah.
Now, 50, that's 35 years ago. That's hard to believe, but
Mhm.
I couldn't believe at 50 that women were back then, it's not happening now as much, but women back then were just traumatized about turning 50. And I remember thinking, why? Why is this happening? And my friend and I just thought, we got to do something about this. And so we came up with the name and we started doing all kinds of crazy events and everything. But that's when it really hit me. 35 years ago, and I thought, why? I never really thought about age because I always say, when you're traumatized about your age or your birthday,
Mhm.
then it's where you are. It's not the
Mhm.
fact that you're 40 years old or 50 years old. It's the fact that where are you at 40 or 50?
Mhm.
I mean, I was losing a baby when I was 30, and I got up in the morning and I thought, I know what they mean when they say I feel like I'm 100 years old. I was going through some real bad stuff.
Mhm.
Now my 40 and all my other birthdays have been just fabulous. So I didn't, bother me at all turning, 40 or 50, 60, 70, 80. I mean, my 80s have been fabulous.
Oh.
So it's, I think I thought about that and I think that's when it started, was about 35 years ago. I started thinking. And I said to somebody then, they said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I want to work with women on aging and
Mm,
get them out of that rut that they get in
yeah.
because they let that number just dictate them."
Mm-hmm.
Tell you,
Absolutely. They do.
yeah, it's like I started saying that, this is what 85 looks like. But I stopped saying that because I don't think that's good to say. But
Mm.
I never, if I'm on the phone, I never ever tell somebody I'm 85 because that their instant image is
Right.
a little lady with a walker trying to walk across the street, and
Mm.
so I don't tell them. And but when they see me, I tell them. And I keep going back to the fact that it's not the one thing, Nicole, is the one thing women, young women, all of them are so worried about is the wrinkles.
Right.
Now, granted, when you first start getting the wrinkles, it is a little traumatizing, and I started seeing them like at 70.
Oh.
Yeah, but anyways, I called this friend of mine. I said, I can't believe it was on my birthday. I said, I can't believe that I'm seeing all these wrinkles. And she started laughing and she said, well, did you really think you'd get to this age and not have wrinkles? And I said, yes, I really did.
We're hopeful.
Yeah, yeah. But I tell women all the time, when they meet you, they don't look at those wrinkles. I know we all think they do, but they don't. They
Mhm.
look at the eyes and then they see the energy. And it's
Oh,
the
yeah.
energy that will take you through aging. It's just like that's what
Mm.
it is.
Hmm.
It's not that I don't look 85. It's the energy is different than a lot of 85-year-olds.
I agree. And when I was reading your book, it stood out to me that while you're carrying this energy and words into the later part of your life and encouraging other women, you really, though, were such a strong advocate for women when you were younger and having a voice and independence and like being who you are and embracing that. I would say prior and in years when it wasn't as common to necessarily like have the mindset of that. And I loved how you really embraced who you were as a person and how you wanted to be married and how you wanted to give back and how you raised your daughter, right? And all of that. And so I what I feel is that you built this and I talked about this actually yesterday in a conversation of we have to build the scaffolding of our viewpoints and what we believe through our life to carry us then into those years when we then depend on it, right? To
Right.
support us, the resilience of that. It's like you've worked that muscle all those years to now serve you into today.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I have, and I in my book, the one thing that um my friend that I was doing a clothing store and I was in my 30s and my friend who was 25 years older than I was owned the store and I said to her one day, I said, are you do you we're back drinking champagne because it was snowing in St. Louis.
Ah.
And I said, are you ever sorry that you did this or bought the store or whatever? And she looked at me and shook her finger and she said, listen, honey, when the day comes that I don't like my life, that's the day I change it. And
Mm,
I would always remembered that because, that's why I raised my daughter. She would go through some low spells, in high school. And I'd say, Michelle, you
mhm,
have to change it. I can't do anything. I can't do it. I can't change your life. You have to
mhm,
change your life. Get
mhm.
out and do something or go, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a really good friend. Gene, I think I was telling you about my friend Katie when we were visiting,
Okay,
but
wait, why is that noise on?
oh, I don't know.
FaceTime audio.
Oh, it's coming. Is it coming through your phone, maybe?
No, it was coming through my computer.
Oh, okay. I couldn't hear it. It's okay.
Seeing that. Okay.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, my friend Katie that I was telling you about, she always says, what you're not changing, you're choosing.
Yes. Yeah,
Same idea, right? That if
right.
we're not happy with what's happening, but we're not choosing to change it, well, that's a choice.
Yep, yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. And as you know, I'm getting ready to go into kind of a difficult time.
Mm,
My
mm,
husband's been diagnosed with Lewy body
mm,
dementia,
mm.
and he's doing well. I mean, he's on a new trial pill from Mayo Clinic, and it's really good. It's
Good.
making it some things better.
Mhm.
But I am getting ready, and that will be a whole new experience for me.
Yeah, it
And
will be.
I'm sure that it's a lesson I need to learn in this lifetime
Mm,
about,
mm,
patience, being
mm,
patient.
mm,
And because I'm one of these people that just kind of like jumps into things and I don't,
mm,
think
Yeah,
about
well,
it a lot of times.
I'm here for you, and I
I know
know
you
we
are.
shift
And
that caregiving. It is. We learn so much about ourselves in that.
yeah, I'm gonna learn a lot. I am talking to a therapist, and um I've never done that before, but she's one thing I would like to say, maybe with people that are listening. I told her that I was just so angry at Mike. We've been married 64 years and we're very close. And I said, I'm just so mad at him. I can't even be nice to him. I'm so angry.
Mm,
And she and I started talking about it. And what happened, what really came out was that it's not anger as much as it is fear.
yeah,
Very afraid
yeah, yeah.
of what's going to happen. And
Hmm. Hmm.
I have a hard time admitting that it's going to happen. But, then I go back to think, you know what? I mean, I may go before he does. We're both 85. Who knows what'll happen? So I'm trying to make a plan, but I'm trying to stay in the day because I cannot lose myself, Nicole.
Right,
There's no
right.
way I can lose myself because if I did, I would expire,
Mm.
you know.
And that is having the conversations like that, and just you even sharing that out loud, it gives us the ability to speak the fear, and when we pull it out of the dark, it does something, right? It lets us have the opportunity to be supported by others and your therapist and people in your life, but also releases that a little bit and allows you to almost be in that moment. And I like how you shared that it is the duality of planning because that's important, but also embracing those moments and pouring into yourself. And for people that care for others, we have to do that. We have to, someone I talked to used that analogy of like we have to put our oxygen mask on first and then,
Yep.
right?
I
And
told you I've said that before the airlines.
yeah,
I was saying that 60 years ago when
so
my daughter was just little, and I'd say to my friends, "Hey, I've got to take care of myself before I can
good.
take care of her." And they go like, "That is so selfish, no, no, it's not.
No, it's
I
not.
can't take care of her if I." So I mean, and then the airlines comes out with the mask, and I'm like,
Mhm.
"Come on,
Mhm.
But it's so true, and
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
it does sound selfish, but you just have to do it. I mean, I said going to this therapist is working. I'm doing it for myself, not for Mike, but for myself because I've got to understand my feelings about this,
Mhm.
and I can't do it by myself, and I don't want to do it with my friends because they're all over. They want to help me so much, but you're really in it, Nicole, by yourself.
You really are.
I have
You
tons
really
of
are.
friends, and they would help, and you would help everybody, but you're still, when it comes right down to it, you're in it by yourself, and you have to deal with it. You can
Mhm.
get help, but you still have to deal emotionally with it.
You do. You're there day in, day out and have the long relationship with him. And so no one else is stepping into that. It's you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll
Oh,
see
yeah.
how I
Sure.
handle it. It's hard for me to speak to women that are not healthy or that are going through things like this. I tell you a story. I used to want to work with abused women because that really bothers me, abused women. My
Mhm.
daughter used to work with abused women, and she said, "Mother, you'd be terrible." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Because you'd tell them to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and get going." And she said, "They can't do that. They're too far down. They're lost." they need help. And if you tell them that, it doesn't work. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's right. I'd be in there going like, come on, come on. Get out there and buy yourself a rhinestone bottle.
Exactly. Oh, I
But
know.
it's, so I'm not good at talking because I'm not there. I don't have the health problems. I don't have that. So it's hard for me to talk to women that are in that
Mhm.
place because who am I to say what to do?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Well,
there you go, though, right back to that age thing.
mhm,
Come
mhm.
on, I mean, I met an 80-year-old woman the other day and she's got palsy. She can hardly walk. I mean, she's
Mhm.
so bad. And I thought, you know, and it's just not about age. It's just, things can happen to you when you're 40
Yeah.
that would happen to an 80 or 90-year-old. I mean, it's just, you just can't blame that age thing.
Hmm.
You can't
Hmm.
mentally go there and concentrate on it. If I concentrated on being 85, I don't know. Who knows? But I still don't think 85 is old.
Ah, isn't that something? What we put our gaze on and what we focus on is where we go, right? So to not, if we're always having the lens of uh, hardship and negativity, and it's not that we're dismissing that because we're not, but to pull in the things that can keep us moving forward. And for really, when I hear you share about it, it's about having things in your life that give you purpose and that can uh, have you interact with other people, right? You talk about the community of women. I know that, having you share about your husband, which I'm so thankful that you did, there's opportunity, right? And now you can relate to women that are caring for husbands in that way, and giving them some encouragement and what you've overcome in your whole life, and now the mindset about just aging in general. Were there things for you that helped shaped that when you were younger, that shaped your view of aging? Although from reading your book, I'm like, I feel like this is just, who you are and where you pulled that from many years ago.
It really is. And I I don't remember. I just have always been the same. It's really hard to answer that because, and like I said to you before we started recording, I don't want to sound egotistical and I don't want to sound because I'm very humble and I'm very down to earth, but I just have always been this way. My dad was very much this way.
Mhm,
Um, and my mother was just complained all the time, was a real true martyr. And
mhm,
daddy was just so positive and he lived to be 105 and was healthy as could be. And it's because he really believed, he lived in a positive world. You remember the story in the book about him wanting to go out on the boat
mhm,
weather, you know. I said,
mhm,
Daddy, it's like 80% chance of rain tomorrow, 80%. And
mhm.
he said, well, he sort of winked at me and he said, well, let's concentrate on that 20%.
Oh,
And got up in the next
my
morning
kind of guy.
and it was just like sun shining, blue sky, whatever. But that's
Mhm,
just the way he was. And now he wasn't around me. He delivered bread in this small town I grew up in, but so he wasn't around me a lot. I don't, but I'm sure it was through osmosis or something. But I
mhm,
just have always been a very positive person, and I've had a lot of, experiences and kind of some disasters along the way. But
mhm,
I just think very positive.
mhm.
And that's how I think about Mike. I just think, he's, but see, I gotta realize that it is what it is because I'm so positive. I think, oh, he's going to be okay. And
Mhm.
that's why
Oh,
I'm seeing a therapist, because
proud of you. Proud of you.
I'm not facing it because
Mm.
I'm just a very positive person, and I've always been that way. And like I
Mhm.
said, I didn't think about the aging until I saw all these 50-year-old women getting traumatized, and they were 50 and I was like 10 years older. Started
Mhm.
aging but dangerous at the age of 69. But
Ah.
yeah, but they, I thought, what is wrong with these women?
Mm.
They just, but now that 50-year-old is so much,
Mhm.
that 50-year-old today is going on 35.
I know.
They are. And
Isn't that
I
the
forgot
truth?
how old you are, but you're young.
Yeah.
I just, my daughter's 58. My gosh, I'd put her up against a 35-year-old any day.
Mm.
She exercises all the time. She does those marathons where you bike and run and do all that
Oh,
stuff.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So
Mhm.
it's,
You were
all up
sharing.
here, Nicole.
I know you were sharing about how you're just so positive, and for me in my life, I feel I have the same thought process about my lens is naturally leans positive, and there are times when I question because in different situations or interacting with people, always being positive. And while I acknowledge hard stuff and I can talk about hard stuff, it's not that. But I was talking to a friend about something in my life, and I always want to see the good in people and the positivity. And it's also like, how do you practice that with having like a boundary? And also, when I look at who I am, I'm like, but I wouldn't want to change who I am, right? Like one person's negative reaction to that situation. And I had this thought of like, whatever I bring to work or people or relationships, like, I'm the love in that. And that goes with me wherever. And that is a part of who I am, regardless of how people treat me. No one can take that away from me. So then I never want to lose that positivity and have the world jade me if that's, I don't know. This is just sharing off the cuff here, but I don't know if that's something you've had to think
No, you got to hang on to that. You just have to hang on to it. And because it is true. It's just so important, I think.
about.
I mean, look at my dad. I mean, he didn't eat vegetables, he didn't eat fruit. He lived on a high fat, high sugar diet. His cholesterol was 150. He never had to have um, eye surgery.
Yep.
What's that called?
Well, like macular or a stick or um I
Where
don't
they take away the
oh, the stigmas or whatever.
little film,
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, he didn't have to wear hearing aids. He didn't have to wear glasses. I mean, this man got that way through being so positive. I know he did, and they've run tests on people that live to be over 100, and
Yeah.
it is so much because of their attitude. You've got to hang on to that, Nicole. Don't ever, no matter what anyone says, you've got to be who you are. And that's another thing I think is important is
You.
are just be yourself, in your clothes, in your hair, in your speaking, whatever you do, just be who you are. Don't lose that person
Yeah.
inside of you because she's very important. And as you grow older, if you have that, then, the other stuff just doesn't matter. I mean, I
Yeah.
can't believe at 85, I can get by with what I want to do. When I was in that fashion show, Sarah's, and I said this young woman was going to design something for me to wear. And I told her, I said, listen, I'm going to wear my white cowboy boots and I'm going to wear
Mhm.
my faux leather leggings. And then you can do whatever you want to on the top. And she did do a fabulous top for me. But I'm sure other people couldn't go in there and say that, but you
Oh,
just can get by with a lot more when you're older.
I love that.
Yeah, yeah. White cowboy boots. I wore them all winter. You know why? Because they were so comfortable. I
Mhm.
mean, I could run down the runway with that. And I
Mhm.
thought, I'm not going to struggle in heels. I'll just, I've got to wear them. So,
Mhm. Mm.
but just,
Thank you.
I just want women to have fun in their life and to be positive. And if you're getting down,
Mhm.
you get up and you've got a down day. I am such a believer in
Mhm.
calling a friend. I think friends are so important.
Mhm.
And I think you need to get on the phone and you need to call a friend and
Yeah.
talk and then do something. I
Mhm.
mean, put on a pair of fun earrings or do something,
Mhm.
just do it.
Yeah.
Nike came up that best slogan ever, didn't they? Just do it.
Just
I
do
love that. You know,
it.
I said in my book, life is good. Go for it. I mean,
Mhm.
I've done all kinds of things here in my later years,
Mhm.
that I most people do when they're younger.
Let's talk about that because it is about thriving and what that really means to you. So share with us because I've loved hearing some of the things that you've been able to do. Tell us more about that.
You mean about aging but dangerous in our
Yes, and you did a martini.
yeah, jump skydive. I used to love to skydive. I skydived first at 60 years old. My dad was 91 and he
Mhm.
did it with me. And so, but that, and then, oh my gosh, we had colonoscopy parties. We had took women to a gun range to learn how to shoot a gun. This is
Mhm.
all like before COVID, that first 10 years of aging but dangerous. It's been around now for 19 years, if you can believe that.
Wow.
I know. And so, but yeah, when I had sex, things, we'd meet at the Smitten Kitten and go over, vibrators and,
That's
I'm a
great.
big believer in vibrators. And so we did a lot of different things. But yeah, the skydive was so fabulous.
Mhm.
107 women jumping
Mhm.
out of an airplane all day long,
Mhm.
50 to 80 years old. It was so great. And then
Oh,
we did that every year. So I skydived a lot. I love that. I love
I've
skydiving.
never skydived before.
Well, I'll tell you, when you jump out of a plane at 30,000 feet, you walk off that drop zone and you feel like you can conquer the world.
Oh,
We had so many, excuse me, great stories of women. So one woman said, I went home, I divorced my husband, and I started my own business.
isn't that something?
We're like, oh my gosh, well, we don't want things like that happening, but good for you, so
Ah.
women,
Yeah.
they just did a lot of good, just like a
Mhm.
calendar does.
Oh, I know. We're going to talk about that. First, I had that feeling. It wasn't skydiving, but I had flown by myself to Japan and I had a layover in South Korea. And I remember feeling like if I can do that by myself, I felt
Yes,
like I could do anything. I was like, oh my gosh, I just,
yes,
and
yes.
I'm a traveler, but there was something about it just felt really far and it felt really different. And I just, yeah, was on my own. And that was a moment where I kind of had that same thought of like, okay, I can do anything.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And
yeah,
we can,
we
and
can.
we can do it when we're 100 years old. We can
Mhm,
do
mhm,
anything,
mhm,
and to get that kind of confidence and
mhm,
to be aware that you're getting that, feeling that
Embracing.
way. See,
Yeah,
that's so
yeah,
important. I
yeah.
tell people to keep their eyes open because
Right, right.
because if you don't, you're going to miss a lot of stuff.
Hmm. So people can view the word dangerous in a lot of different ways, or it can be interpreted for you. What does that word mean to you now?
Okay, dangerous. When we came up with it, a lot of people were like, "Oh God, I don't. That's too severe, whatever." But anyway, we did it.
Hmm.
And it can be little things. Everybody thinks it's like jumping out of a plane. We had that so much press on that and
Hmm.
so much talk about that. But it's little things like something dangerous to me. And this sounds so foolish, but I'm one of these people, I'm not vain. And I go on the TV and I can just go without makeup and put my makeup on, my videos. And so I'm not vain, but I always say, if you don't want to put on your makeup, just put on, lipstick and a great pair of glasses and run out the door, and a hat if you don't like your hair.
Mhm.
You don't have to put on makeup. But I, yeah, I, dangerous was like going to the grocery store without lipstick on.
Mhm.
And I'm like, that is so funny. But what if I see somebody, 'cause I
Mhm.
just, without, I don't know, lipstick just seems to be so important to me. And
Mhm.
That for UPS.
it's funny that my daughter gave me this card once, and something about the police stopped this old woman, and she was sitting in this convertible, and before he gets up to the door, she's putting on her lipstick, and a little lipstick will solve anything,
Mhm. Mhm.
but so
Mhm.
that to me was, or I tell you another thing I do is I can get really low on gas, and I can just think, you know what, that 20 gallons is going to get me some. I don't think I'll stop for gas. And that's dangerous for sure. But it just means, I'll tell you what it means. It means pushing the envelope a little.
Mhm.
You don't have to do
Mhm.
much, but just push that envelope a little tiny bit, because that's what makes you feel good, I think. And it just, it's a little bit daring. It doesn't have to be anything big. It's pushing the envelope. That's what dangerous means to me.
I think that's so perfect. And it is.
Yeah.
It's almost like going outside of our comfort zone just a little bit. It feels a little bit uncomfortable. We're pushing the envelope, but we're moving forward. Yeah.
Yeah. I see all these young women on Instagram, how they show all the clothes and everything, from Amazon or, whatever. And they're wearing, like they'll take a top and they'll, like push it down on their shoulders. And everything they wear, it's like, you know what? An
Mhm.
older woman can do that. I mean, it's
Mhm.
like everything I see, I
Mhm.
could do that if I wanted to. Again, no rules.
Mhm.
Don't, I say, I don't follow the rules. I don't. This woman wrote this book, How to Not Look Old.
Mhm.
Now, she wrote it 20 years, or no, yeah, 20 years ago. And
Mhm.
she died of breast cancer when she was in her 50s. And I know if she would have gotten older, she would have been sorry about writing that. But she
Mhm.
told you, what color lipstick you should wear if after 50 you wear pink lipstick. Well, what if pink lipstick doesn't go with your skin tone,
Right.
It's like
Right.
you should wear your skirts a certain length, blah, blah, all these rules. I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, come on. I mean, I went crazy. I just went crazy. Um, and because it's just, don't tell me what to wear. Or don't, one of my followers said that I was talking about this new black eyeliner, and this follower said, she said, Jean, older women should not wear black eyeliner. It ages them. And I wrote her back and I said, well, you know what, Maureen, you know what my belief is. You wear whatever you want to. If you want to wear black eyeliner, wear it. If people think it looks bad, they don't have to look at you.
It's so good. And it
Yeah. So,
really is
you just
about
have to do those things. And
hmm
some of these women are married and their husbands don't like it. So that's too bad too,
Mm,
but
I
that
know, being
happens.
able to be who we are. I
Yeah.
want you to share, speaking of pushing the envelope, being who we are, you have a beautiful calendar that you've put together. And I am excited for people to learn about it, be able to get one in their hands. How did that come to be? Tell us about that.
I have wanted to do that for about 10 years. And because I do believe that it's not about the body, it's about
Mhm.
your attitude.
Mm,
And back to the energy and all that. So it's not about how you look, it's about how you feel. And I have always said that. Uh, it's really just so interesting. So anyway, I got together and there are a lot of my friends, and I have this fabulous photographer, Annie Marie Photography, and she made these beautiful pictures. And then every woman wrote underneath how they felt about aging. And of course, it was all positive. And then I'm getting ready. So I did, that was in 24. I didn't do one for 25. Oh, it went to all the college girls and everything. My granddaughters get sitting around the college girls that had hanging in their dorms. I mean, and it was so fabulous. We have sold about 700 copies. It helped so many people. And we're doing our next one, and it's going to be a 1950s. It was 1950s house, so it's going to be, very retro and all this. So, um, it's just part of my heart, Nicole, because it helps so many people. My granddaughters even said, Grandma, we really understand, the whole 700 copies. And my daughter said, Did anybody come out of the woodwork and say anything negative or anything? And I said, No, I didn't get one negative remark.
Wow.
Everything was so positive.
Oh, it's encouraging. That's just it. If we don't have uh, exposure to how we can age differently than what maybe we've seen in the past or whatnot, we don't know what the possibilities are. And when people share about it or have a calendar and that celebrates the bodies and all of the things that I think it's not that we need permission to be a certain way. We don't, but it also gives us the spark and the awareness of how we can make this time in our life uniquely ours in whatever way that that looks. Yeah.
Mhm. And we didn't say the name, and it is a tastefully nude calendar.
Hmm.
Fierce and fabulous. But, and this last one, really good friend of mine from Colorado flew in to be in it. And she saw her picture and she said, that picture has changed my life. And I said, How? And she said, I did not have any idea that my body looked that good.
What a
And I'm like, that, I mean, things like that, we get
mm-hmm,
so down on ourselves and our
mm-hmm,
bodies.
mm-hmm,
And then when you see yourself
mm-hmm.
partially nude, you just think, wow, and we don't do any photoshopping, but it really, it affects people's lives. And my dear friend was in it that had stage 4 colon cancer, and
Mm-hmm.
she looked so fabulous. And she was 81. So I'm very proud of that calendar. I
I
really
can't
am.
wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. I'm
Yeah,
just so thankful that you're able to do that.
yeah.
Jean, what do you hope uh, when you think about what you've created, how you've changed a lot of lives? What do you hope that that spark is out in the world through you and through Aging But Dangerous, your legacy?
I I want people to remember me. I think when you and I talked, I said this, a lot of people call me a fashionista and all that kind of stuff. And that's just so, I mean, that's not me, that's not who I am. I mean, it's a compliment, but that's still not who I am. I don't want to be known for that, but I
Mm-hmm.
really want to be known that I helped women as much as I could and inspired them to get out there and do something or to change their life or to do something. And I really want that legacy that I was hopefully helped. Like they say, if you even just help one person in your life, but I know I've helped more because they've written me. So it's a beautiful, beautiful feeling. And like I said, I wish everybody could have that and feel that because it's really wonderful. That's what I want my legacy to be, that
Mm-hmm.
I helped as women feel good about themselves as much as I could.
Well, I know you do that for me and so many. You inspire. Oh, I just appreciate all that you are and all that you do. And is there someone recently who's inspired you? I'm just
Yes.
curious.
One of my followers, Sally, she's
Mhm.
out in Oregon and she's 80 years old and she is training to climb this mountain. She's going to
Wow.
climb a mountain. I forget how high the mountain is or anything, but she has been working to get in shape and to, do this. And she's going to do it on August 20th. And I am so impressed with that because I mean, it's not
Wow.
like she's, really in shape or anything.
Mhm.
But she's going to do it. I mean, she's always wanted to do it and she's going to do it. So that I'm very, very impressed with that
I love.
because I don't think I could do it, but it's not something I really want to do anyway. But
Yeah, that's
you
an
know,
inspiration we can witness from
yeah,
far. Yeah, that's so cool. That is
yeah,
cool.
it is.
Oh, where can people find you, connect with you, be a part of your community, buy the calendar, read the book, all of that?
Okay. Well, you can go to agingbutdangerous.com or you can go to geneketcham.com. Either one of those takes you right to our website.
Hmm. So good.
So,
And we'll
and
include that in all of the episode description for people to find. And lastly, because we're talking about things that are a little bit dangerous, in the spirit of your work, what's one thing you're dreaming of doing next that still feels a little bit dangerous?
Nicole, I mean, I hope people don't tune you out on this one, but
No, we're
I,
going for it.
I am I always say, one of my last mountains to climb, which I've climbed many, is to talk to women about vibrators. And
Mhm.
it's still a taboo subject. It's still people snicker when they hear it. All this stuff. But I want to come at it from a health standpoint and how it helps the pelvic floor
Mhm.
and helps the endorphins, all of this stuff that it does for you.
Mhm.
And my husband bought me my first vibrator like 50 years ago. So I've been,
Wonderful.
it's a very normal thing for me. But
Mhm.
as I said to you before we started recording, I said, a lot of women have not ever experienced an orgasm, and wouldn't it be a shame for them to die without experiencing that?
Absolutely.
So that's one subject. We've talked about I have fecal incontinence, talked about urinary incontinence. We've talked about, all the wrinkles, all these different things that happen as you're aging. And this is just another subject that needs to be talked about because I'm a firm believer in women talking, you know, I got something the other day from this woman that said, because I do a Q&A on Friday afternoon, martini chat. And this woman wrote in and she said, why do we just keep talking about vibrators? Why don't we start comparing them? And I thought, what a great idea, because
That's
that's
a
the
great
thing. There's so many of them out there. Who
idea.
knows? It'd be kind of interesting to know ones women use. And
Completely. I will join you for that conversation.
I
Let me know when you have it. I'll pop in and see what I
I know. But see, now I was at a friend's house the other day and she
can.
said, Gene, I've got to show you my new vibrator. And that was wonderful, and I thought, now this is the way it should be.
I agree. Yeah.
We need to talk about these things. My doctor's the one that told me to talk about fecal incontinence because she said women, when it starts happening to women, they think they're dying, they think they've got cancer, they get all upset, and you
Mhm.
need to talk about it. So I've talked about that quite a bit. But yeah,
I
that's
I
my next mountain.
I'm so glad you brought that up. I told you before we got on, I was like, let's talk about it. I feel that it is a part of like when we look at the components of our life, right? We've got like physical health, mental health, sexual health. It is a part of our whole health continuum that we need to be able to talk about and have be a part of our life for our lifespan as it's our health span. And, there was I can't remember the movie. It came out a little bit ago about menopause, and they were talking about the importance of vibrators from the sense of like vaginal atrophy, and it's that same idea, use it or lose it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Even like from like you were saying, like pelvic floor health and being able to keep our muscles in a healthy, active way. And how do we do that, right? So I think it's so important. And I'm fortunate. Luckily, I have women in my life and my really good friends where we can have those conversations, right? We can talk
well,
about
that's good. I'm really
vibrators.
happy to hear that. But see, you're younger. I'm happy to hear that
Mhm.
that is happening with young women because it's it's not happening with the older ones. And but it's also such a good way to get in touch with your body,
I agree. Yeah.
to just get that, you know, this is my body.
Mhm.
This is what,
Mhm. I
um,
agree. Yeah. And
oh,
it's unfortunate. I think for whatever reason, some of those conversations or that whole idea can be tied to some shame, which it doesn't need to be, but it's like unlearning maybe the taboo of not talking about certain things or whatnot. And so I'm hopeful, which is why I'm like, let's talk about it. I think it's so important to share with people to absolutely discover that about yourself and try new things and have the conversations and join right aging but dangerous and jump on the call where we talk about what all of the different options are, right? So I think it's those being curious still, yeah.
yeah. And I was telling these women yesterday, I can see myself at AARP convention, standing on the stage and I have a drop down, picture of a vagina, and I have these long sticks, and I show each
Mhm.
other right where the clitoris is.
Yes.
It's
It's amazing how like
I
some
think a
people
lot of women don't know where it is.
know. I know, I know. I heard it's the only part of the human anatomy that sole purpose is just for pleasure.
Wow.
Sole purpose.
Yeah.
That's not, I believe, the case for men, right? Theirs is multi-purposeful, but like for us, like how incredible is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is
Like this woman said, that's God's work. It's
exact. Ah, that's so true. Literally, yeah.
I love that. She said, now you're doing God's work.
Mhm, mhm. I
But
agree.
yeah, but it doesn't take the place of a man. If you've got a good marriage and you've got a lot of men think that that's, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
women too, is that you use it because you don't have intercourse with your spouse, but it's just an added thing, and it gets things going.
Hmm. I love that you shared that. It's very, very true. It's not to replace anyone. It is to amplify and have whether it's connection together or learning about yourself so that you can bring that energy towards your relationship if you are in a relationship. However, that you feel that it can be the bridge to knowing your body, knowing your partner, being able to have those experiences together. Absolutely. I
Yeah,
love that you share about that. Yeah. And I think that can be some of the hesitation too, is will the partner be intimidated by that or
right,
feel that it
right,
is
right.
replacing when it's really, truly not, right? It's just an extension of the
Yeah, well, and they have them for men,
hmm hmm
and like, I don't know, as men get older and as some of this stuff happens to them, maybe that's a good thing to do. I don't know.
Right. Or your partner could even like um, assist you in using the device, right? So there could be some creative ways as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Just play around, have fun.
exactly. Have fun. We need to just have a little levity and fun around here.
Yeah, yeah. And that's one of my one of my statements I say, that, funds, aging but dangerous is about fun, spirit, and style. Number one, have fun with stuff, whatever it is. And spirit is your emotional, your spirit, your attitude, your boldness, all that. And
Mhm.
style is not the clothes you wear, it's being authentic to yourself. Wear
Mhm.
whatever you want to. And I always say, I could dress the way I do, and you could put somebody right next to me in torn jeans and a raggedy blouse, and we'd both be equal, be
Mhm.
both true to who we are. She's true to her style and who she is, and I'm true to mine. If I didn't dress the way I dress, would not be me. So, you just I used to own
Mhm.
a clothing store, and when my customers, I'd see them at the movie or something, they'd get, "Oh, Gene, I'm sorry, I bought, that great outfit from you last week, and I'm sorry I don't look better." And they start making all these excuses, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I mean, you look great. I don't care what anyone wears.
Mhm.
So it's back to that image thing. We just don't need to pay attention to that image.
Yeah, I agree. And
Create
it
whatever
can
we
take
want.
time too, because when we're younger, there's so much, I don't know, pressure to be in what are the trends or all
Yeah,
of that. I remember being in high school and the style at the time was, I'm dating myself, late 90s. It was like polo button downs and like a certain kind of jean and all of that. And I remember just not feeling comfortable in my skin. And obviously, as time in life went on, I discovered what my style was and who I
yeah,
was and my comfort level. And you know me, Jean, I like to wear dresses and all of
yeah,
that and like get dressed up and whatnot. Like, yes, can I put on a good sweatpant and a hoodie? Absolutely. But I can't wear collared shirts for the life of me. I want to like crawl out of my skin. I don't know. It's just the thing. And there, nothing wrong with collared shirts, but it's like how we just have leaned, for me, I feel like I've absolutely leaned into this is my style and
yeah.
I'm going to be who I am and show up in the ways that I want to, regardless of the trend or what people think is cool or fashionable or whatnot. I don't know.
No, exactly, exactly. You said every bit of it.
Hmm.
I am the least fashionable person you'll ever meet because I don't care. I
Hmm.
just wear whatever I'm comfortable in. And it
Hmm.
happens to be, flowy, fun, stuff. I like to wear a lot of jewelry, costume jewelry. I love costume jewelry. And
Hmm.
I just, that's just me. It happens to look good. I always tell my following, I'll tell you one reason why, you guys like what I wear is because of this color thing. I know my colors. And when I
Hmm.
wear my colors, that's what
Hmm.
makes something look good too. But
Hmm.
yeah, just wear what, if you want to live in raggedy jeans, then live in them. And it's like you just I know it's so important. And that's what I mean. Style, it's not just the clothes, it's just be
Hmm.
who you are and wear what you want and do what you want. It's
Hmm.
just, it's so important. So, fun, spirit, and style.
I love it. What a great way to end our conversation on that note. And Jean, I know I'm going to see you soon because we're going to
Yes,
hang out.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
we are.
Oh, I'm just so grateful for you. And I needed this morning. I woke up feeling a little overwhelmed with just life and all the things. And I actually like had the thought when I woke up this morning, I'm like, oh, but I get to talk to Jean today. So you just know that you do mean so much and make a difference for people. And that was me today.
Oh,
So
you
thank
are so
you.
sweet. I really appreciate that. But you are at that point in your life where things do get heavy, the children, the
Mhm.
everything that's going on around you, and it's kind of a hard time, and
Yeah,
you have to you know give yourself a break and just
mhm.
what helps me so much is meditating. You meditate, don't you?
I do
Yeah.
sometimes, but I have a hard time like And I've heard that you don't need to turn your brain off, but I have a hard time not thinking about all
Well,
the things, right?
I know, but that comes with practice.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
comes with practice. The more you practice it, the more you can turn it off. And
Mhm.
that is a very calming thing. But yeah, you're young women with children, and I mean, I had an only child. And I always had my own business, but I used to think I'd go to the grocery store and see women with 2 or 3 kids. I'm like, how do they do it? I could
Mhm.
hardly do it with one. I mean, it was like it's just hard, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And
It's
yours are a little older, aren't they? Are
they
they?
are, yeah, and I have two, and I'm the oldest of four, and I had the thought when I had my two kids, like, how the heck did my mom manage
Yeah,
four children? Two is a lot for, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see that excuse me, what you're experiencing now, Nicole, is
Mhm.
so much harder, I think, and what word do I want to use harder? So much takes so much energy and so much you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And when we get older and women that are fighting that age thing and everything,
Mhm.
that's like a piece of cake to what
Mhm.
young women are going through now with the pressure of
Mhm.
everything that's going on and what the kids have to go through. And I think it's a very hard time to raise kids and tell them, things you have to tell them. I mean, it's
Yeah.
terrible. But
Yeah.
so just give yourself a break because
Thank
you really, it's a hard time. It's a hard time.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
That means a lot. That means a lot. And I know that we'll be here for each other in the ways that we can. But yeah, when you're in it, you're in it. But it's so great to have community of women and other
Yeah.
people. And I'm just so thankful.
Isn't it? I mean, it's just like if you don't have, you just need those women, friends. They're going
Yeah.
to be there always,
Yeah.
always.
Great. Well, thank you, my friend. And I'm excited to share
You.
the conversation. Thank
You're
you.
so sweet, Nicole, and you do
Oh,
such good work. I mean, you do wonderful,
oh,
wonderful work.
thank you. Thank you for listening today. If you enjoyed our episode, please subscribe and give us 5 stars. In all honesty, we'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for listening to our episode.